What's happening, everyone? We are hanging out here with the legendary Steve Caballero, and really excited and honored to have this dude here, and just kind of wanted to get some insight just into the longevity that you've had in the skate world and just truly living out your dreams. For Motivational Monday, we can motivate the people and just give them a little insight into your world.
Thank you. What do you want to know?
I think it's amazing. I mean, like, you've just got that, continued to have that youthful enthusiasm. One of the questions I get asked all the time, I'm only 25, and people that aren't in the skate world, they're always asking me, well, how long do you think you'll be able to skate for? And then I look to people like you, and I'm like, skating's such a young sport still that, like, there's guys in their 50s doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm 55, and when I was probably around 17, I had a friend of mine tell me what I was going to do when I turned about 21, 22. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're not going to be a professional skateboarder because no one has a career after, in their mid-20s. I'm like, shoot, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not really going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on having a good time and skating and progressing and just kind of go with the flow of the industry and what's happening. And fast forward, over 35 years later, I'm still skating and still consider myself an athlete and a professional skateboarder in my own sense of not so much competing with the younger guys, but out there promoting products, promoting the industry, promoting the longevity of the sport, and just kind of taking a lead role as far as showing how long a person can hold a professional career and still be an influencer in our industry. And that's based on just, for one, having a positive mental attitude. I've always had that positivity of like kind of going with the flow of things and not trying to fight stuff, not trying to make skateboarding go the direction that I want it to go.
Just kind of embracing it for what it is.
Embrace everything. And this might sound kind of weird or lame, but I'm actually a pretty trendy person, and I go with the trends. And I don't fight them. And because of having that attitude as a person that follows trends, I've been able to have a longevity in the sport and kind of mold myself into any situation that the sport has brought itself into.
Right, but still while remaining true to yourself. I feel like you hold that as a very important thing. There is the skate culture, and there's been times and trends where everyone's kind of doing the same tricks, running the same style, but in that piece, like, you're still able to adapt, but not fully, in a sense, fit like another dude. Like, you've held your own and had your own kind of, that Stevie Cab, your own unique style and your own unique sauce, if you will, to what you add.
I mean, I think as a skateboarder, it's an art form, so I think we're all artists in ourselves. But also, I know what I like, and I know the tricks I like to do, and I know how I want to showcase myself doing them. So that's what distinguishes my style and the way I skate. People say like, oh, you're so smooth, you make it look so easy. Well, I'll work on a trick until it feels easy,
right,
and it feels smooth, and that's why my style kind of represents that. I won't just land anything and throw it in or look sketchy, and if it was sketchy, I would do it over,
right.
And I think that skateboarding looks its best when you can push it to the most extreme limit. So like if you're doing like a regular 5-0 grind, I'm not satisfied with just doing it like a half a block or 1 block or 2 blocks. I want to go 3, I want to go 4, I want to go push it as far as I can, and then that kind of starts to represent who you are and how you skate, and that makes your style, so I've always been like, try to slide the longest rails, try to grind the farthest, try to do the highest air,
right,
and that's just been, my choice of how I want to represent myself.
Awesome. I think what you talked about again in the beginning too was just really powerful. When the guy asked you, what are you going to do at 21? You can't do this forever, but you were just talking about being in the moment and really just embracing it again for what it is, but also just like not looking too forward into the future, but also kind of having a game plan, but being diligent in the task at hand. That's opened up the doors to where you're able to create a career and kind of customize your future in that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always had that attitude. I think I got a lot of wisdom at a very young age to just kind of just be in the moment and not focus too much on the past, where I'm still living in the past and I wish it was like back in the day. And I never really focused too much in the future, like, worry about it, like, what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
So I used to always just kind of embrace the moment, and in that way you can focus really hard on what you're doing, and you can get stuff done rather than it taking longer than it needs to be, or not progressing to that next level. But yeah, that's pretty much been my attitude.
That's awesome. Have you found it easier to kind of move on throughout the years with that, or has it gotten different with all the different technologies and social media and all this different stuff that's out there right now?
I think, I've been put in different situations my whole life as far as where the industry is going and how we can promote ourselves to be relevant. And like I said, I'm a trendy dude, so I just kind of go with what's going on. If street skating was the time in the 90s and that's what everyone was doing, then I needed to, put myself in that mindset of becoming a street skater and focus on that. And
right.
And that's what I did. And then when Vert and bowls kind of came back, I kind of put the street board away and got back into riding a different board and riding bowls and ramps again. So, I think I was at my prime at street skating when I was 35 years old.
That's incredible.
I was doing some pretty crazy stuff in the year 2000.
Wow.
35.
Is that when you did that handrail?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
how many stairs?
Well, the longest one I did there was 22 double length stairs, so it was equivalent to 44 stairs.
44.
But there was this one rail I tried I put a launch ramp up to it because it was way too high to ollie onto it, but I wanted to get on it anyways.
Yeah.
And it was 9 stairs, it kinked, then it went curved about 20 feet, and then it went down 13. And I made it all the way to the curve down the 13, and then I stuck it. Stair 3.
Oh no.
And I fell all the way at the bottom, and that's actually in tilt mode Army video number 2.
Okay.
It's in there, the slam.
So you made it around the corner though.
Yeah, and
that's
insane.
insane.
I started going down, and
wow.
I was committed.
Yeah.
And at age 35, and after slamming on, that was probably the 3rd rail I slammed on that year. I just said, what, this is not worth it anymore. I'm like, I'm over it. Like, yeah. I'm over it. I don't need anything to prove anymore. Because when you take gnarly slams consecutively, you kind of start to think about, like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
And so I thought, I did enough to prove myself as a street skater. I just kind of hung it up a little bit and just kind of went back into safer mode. Not that vert skating and bowl skating is any safer, but at least you got pads on.
You got pads on, a little bit transition to slide out. Yeah.
But, I don't know. And it's funny, I make a joke about it on Instagram, like I hashtag street cab, and I talk in a third person with it. And
yeah.
People in the 90s don't, because it was kind of small, people really don't know that I street skated, back then. So I like to throw out little video parts or even just relearn some of the tricks I did.
Yeah.
At 55 and just show like, hey, I can still do this stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But in my head, I can still do it, but just got to get the muscle memory back. And
yeah.
I think if I have any advice for kids or even like, grown-ups within our sport, the one thing that I regret the most is not staying limber.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so
stretching.
Taking care of yourself. Yeah.
Just taking care of your muscles and making sure that they're flexible, because I found out that around age 30, 35, it's getting harder to bend down and grab my board, and that was due to not stretching and not taking being an athlete serious enough. Because when you're a kid, you're pretty flexible, but when you start getting old, you start getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And,
the injuries add up, and yeah.
Yeah, so you don't skate as much, so especially when I was doing a lot of street skating, I wasn't bending down a lot and stretching and grabbing.
You're just using the
just
pop.
kind of using your feet, so I lost a lot of that mobility. And I didn't take it seriously, and now I've been trying to take it seriously in my 50s, trying to get back to that 80s flexibility, so I can grab a stale fish again. I can grab a method lean or melon grab, and because in my mind I still feel like I can do all these tricks in the 80s. I just physically I can't.
Right. I remember a couple years ago you were talking about that, like, man, I just literally can't reach down to grab stale fish anymore. So what did you kind of do to kind of get yourself back in that position?
I've been doing yoga.
Okay.
Lately I've been doing a lot of hot yoga, but I actually got a membership this time, so I'm pretty serious about it.
That way you can hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, because it's like I've done yoga in the past, but I'm not conditioned enough, and I'm too lazy to actually do it on my own. I need to go to a place and do where there's people around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not conditioned enough to be committed.
Well, it's hard because it's like you can kind of be like, all right, yeah, I got that leg a little bit, I got this one, and like not go all the way in. Whereas if you're in a class, it's like, all right, we're all in this together.
You're dedicated, and I'm a father as well, so it's like I would love to wake up an hour earlier and stretch and everything, but like I'm like, wait, how much longer can I sleep until I get the kids up? Yeah. I got to make them breakfast, and then I got to drive them to school, and it's like I don't have time to stretch.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. And then I, had to meet you guys here, so it's like, I'm on a time schedule.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. I still feel young at heart, and I still feel like I have some things to prove, even in my 50s, that, you can still skate in our age and still be healthy. And I've watched my health, and I've focused on eating well and taking care of my body and not, abusing it with substances. So I've been pretty good at that for over the years. So that's why I've been able to maintain and focus physically and mentally on a positive note.
And what's kind of driving you to want to do that? Is it just to continue to push and see how long you can keep performing at a top level? Or
well, I mean, I feel like when I first got sponsored, I feel like it was a very, very awesome opportunity that's been given to me, and have never wanted to lose it since I was 15.
Right. So you want to kind of honor and cherish what you got.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everything that's been given to me. I'm flattered that I'm still wanted in the industry, that people still want me associated with it. So I don't take it for granted. So I still, I try to live a professional life and be as professional as I can and have a lot of integrity, and people honor that and they respect that, and they want to associate with you if you carry that persona and that personality. So that's why I've always tried to hold that positive, outlook, and that people can trust me to be professional, about it.
Well, that's what's amazing, because there's been people that have come and gone through the years, but you've kind of always, again, been around in the industry, whether it be in the street days and the park days and now in the kind of legend series days, and it's just cool to see that you're there, but not only are you there, but you're also continuing to add to it. You know what I mean?
I try, and then also, I'm a role model for kids, that look up to me, and I'm also a role model to my own children as well. So it's really a blessing for me to actually be able to skate with my kids and
that's amazing.
Share those same passions, and obviously it's something that you'll probably experience when later on in life, and, but there's no better thing than seeing my own child follow the same passions, and then seeing them learn tricks that I learned when I was younger, and something that I can share with my family.
Right. Y'all can go to the skate park together and just enjoy a nice afternoon. And,
the best feeling ever.
That's incredible.
When my son Caleb says, "Hey, let's go skate, Dad," it's like I drop everything. Even if I have to do the bills, I'm like, "All right, let's go. I'll take you to the park."
Yeah.
And then he'll be watching me, and then I'll be watching him, and he's I can see him. He's like seeing if I'm watching, and then I'm not watching. Then he'll come back and be like, "Hey, Dad, look what I learned. Can you come and film it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I sit there and film it, and then he lands something. I'm super proud, and then I want to post it. And show everybody, "Hey, look what my son's doing."
That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, and so you're coming off of a bit of an injury.
Yeah, man, broke my femur 8 months ago.
The femur, that is so gnarly.
Yeah, I have another love, and that's motocross. And you know, when I get into something, I get into it really 100%. I want to experience everything about it, and experience it to its fullest level, and learn all about it, and progress at it to the point where I'm, you know, jumping huge jumps and going as fast as I can. And the more and more I spent time with the bike, it started to feel like skating to me. I started to feel like one with the bike, like I have with skateboarding.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And things got easier, and I started taking more chances and started doing more things that are gnarlier.
Yeah, because it's just like that next progression. It's a little risky, but
yeah,
the reward's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you know, and at the levels that I'm riding, there's consequences.
Right.
And same with skateboarding. The levels that we skate, there's consequences.
Absolutely.
But I never think about that skating. I never
Really?
think about breaking anything.
Yeah.
You know, or if that's going to happen. And
Yeah.
I got to a point riding my dirt bike, I didn't think I would ever break anything. You know, but lo and behold, I made a mistake, went over the bars, woke up with a broken femur, and I've been dealing with that for the last 8 months. And it's been a hard road, you know, but a lot of people have said that I've come back pretty quick.
Right.
You know, I don't really know the time schedule that it takes to come back from a broken femur.
Yeah.
But it's a thing that you have to come back physically and mentally. And I feel like it's harder to come back mentally than physically. I feel like if there's something in your brain, your thought process that's going to keep you thinking about the injury and thinking about what can happen, then you're never going to progress to that next level.
Right.
And I feel as a skateboarder, we do that. I've been doing that my whole life. So it was easy for me to forget the injury riding a dirt bike, because that's what I've been doing my whole life skateboarding, is forgetting the injuries I've had since the late 70s.
Right.
You know, I've gotten hurt a lot skateboarding.
Yeah.
But what I realized in this injury, that skateboarding is just as dangerous as motocross.
Right.
I mean, I have comments, people going like, yeah, I broke my femur, broke my elbow, my ACL, you know, got concussions, skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
which I don't ever think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you got to kind of find that balance in it, right? Because it's like you can get in that place where you're crippled by that fear of what could happen, or you just kind of embrace it, and it's not that you're ignorant to it, but you're just like, I don't want to let what could happen stop me from what I think is possible and achieving something that's beyond my limits right now. And that's how you learn. Sometimes it does push back.
Yeah, man, I think there's a healthy fear that kind of keeps you safe and kind of keeps you focused on what's possible and what's not. But then there's an unhealthy fear that's going to keep you from progressing to that next level, into things that you know in your heart you can do, but there's something holding you back.
Yeah.
So it's a balance. It's a wise balance that you have to make. And like I said, that comes with a lot of wisdom, whether to take that chance or not. You know the timing based on the maturity of level of your thinking, you know. But I feel that fear really has a lot to do with controlling people and our actions, and there's an unhealthy fear out there that I want to try to help people get over. You know, so.
What are the most practical ways you think you can do that?
Well, everyone's different. You know, I know what I do is face a fear. And after it's done and you face it, you kind of look back and say, like, how bad was that? You know,
right?
Did I die from it? Did I get hurt? You know, was it that painful? And then just kind of baby step it. It's like, okay, well, maybe I'll push it another level next time, and to a point where you're not even scared anymore.
Right. You kind of look back, it worked then. All right, I'll use that as a little bit of momentum to build. And
yeah, so it's always baby steps, but it's not even so much physical. I meant something that's dangerous. I mean, people are scared to do things that aren't dangerous.
Right.
And it's more being ashamed or embarrassed. That fear is an unhealthy fear, you know, that people speak into their own lives. It's like, perfect example is like, I I had art night the other night, and my daughter was there with some friends, and I invited them to do art, and immediately one of her friends goes, "Oh, I can't draw. I can't even draw stick figures."
Just
and
put herself in that right away.
And I said, "Hey,
Yeah.
don't." I go, "Don't say that."
Right.
I go, "You just
Limited yourself.
you just limited what the possibilities of you." I go, "You are an artist. You just haven't discovered that yet."
Right.
I go, "Here's some paper. Here's a pen, and I'll kind of guide you through and let you know how I approach art." And she was out there drawing and stuff, and you know, she got past that fear of like. I go, nobody judges here.
Right.
We're all artists. We're all doing our thing, so we're not going to judge what you do.
Yeah.
Or how well you do it. And I think that helped her progress to that next level. Like, I don't know, who knows? Maybe she will get more serious about it.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to put these walls over our life, these ceilings over our life, where we're like looking at what other people are done, like, well, I'm not going to do it to that level, so why even try? And the same with the art, like, well, I'm not going to paint, you know, starry night, so why even go for it? But it's like, well, you could create something that could actually impact someone else.
Right.
It might not be the greatest thing ever, but for that one person, it could be.
Right.
And so that right there in itself kind of makes that difference.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I've been so successful with a lot of things is because I have this attitude of like, I don't say that I can't do it.
Mhm.
I say that I would love to someday want to do it.
Right.
So I never put that negative continuity to how I see things.
Right.
You know, it's always like, oh, that looks pretty difficult, but maybe I can do that someday. Or, you know what, I love how gnarly that is. I want to try that someday.
Right.
But I never say like, no, there's no way I can ever do that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what separates people.
Mhm.
It's your thinking and how you approach life.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I think, what are the things that you're like, I know you practice gratitude a lot. You're always posting about being grateful for things on Instagram and stuff like that. What do you feel like that stemmed from? Recognizing and being aware of how powerful gratitude is.
Well, I mean, being grateful leads to humility,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it really teaches you not to take things for granted, you know, that you should be grateful for everything that you have, because everyone's situation is different, you know, and everybody looks at life differently, of what's meaningful and what's not. When I broke my femur, I was grateful that I could actually go to the bathroom by myself and actually walk again.
Right.
Because not being able to walk
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks was
It's
devastating.
tough. Yeah.
You know, and
Absolutely.
we take getting up and walking to the bathroom for granted.
Yeah.
You know, and when I couldn't do it, I realized how special it is to be able to use your legs.
Right.
You know, let alone ride a skateboard or ride a dirt bike. Or anything
Absolutely.
else. So, yeah, it's just the little things like that add up.
Mhm.
You know, and just not taking advantage of the things that are given to us in this life, and making sure we appreciate everything that's offered to us.
Mm-hmm. What are you most grateful for right now?
My relationship with God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grateful that I finally opened my ears and my heart to having a relationship with Christ, and getting to know Him on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to go to church and get the wisdom from the Bible there.
Yeah.
You know, and fellowship with other people who have the same relationship. You know, and I'm grateful for that because it's helped me change as a person, helped me become a better friend, a better husband, a better father, just helped me look at life differently and not care so much what the world thinks and how the world views what's important.
Mhm.
God's really showed me what's important in life, and so it's made me actually a little bit more calm.
Wow.
I was already calm,
Yeah.
but it's made me more calm about what's important and what we gain in life and what we lose. And I'm okay with losing worldly things.
Mhm.
It's not going to control me or change my joy and happiness.
Your joy is rooted in something eternal and internal.
Yeah, my joy is rooted of knowing Christ and knowing Jesus, and then in turn is outwardly poured out to how I view the world and how I view people and what's important. You know, so I don't let those things change or dictate how I'm gonna feel that day. So like even like what we're going through right now with the whole outbreak of that coronavirus, and how people are reacting to it, it doesn't scare me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not scared. I mean, things happen for a reason, and you know, obviously we gotta take precaution and stuff, but I'm not gonna I don't watch the news.
Yeah, same. You know? I avoid it, but obviously you're hearing all about it. And for me personally, I'm like, well, from what I understand, it's just like any other thing. And if I'm taking care of myself, you know, I'm working nutritionally, honoring myself, if I'm staying hygienic, then, you know, it'll be like anything else. Like, we'll kind of get through it, we'll kind of move forward. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let fear stop me from coming to the skate park or going and enjoying life. Life goes on, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And we just have to, you know, deal with it on a day-by-day basis. And things are changing around the world. I mean, the whole world is getting affected, and a lot of people are really afraid.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I think that's a good opportunity for us kind of as believers to really stand in faith for them on behalf, almost interceding like, hey man, I know you're going through this and you're struggling and you're scared right now, but I'm going to believe with you that tomorrow's going to be a better day.
Yeah, and I'm already dealing with that with some friends right now and trying to convince them and talk to them that everything's good. Especially Christian friends. Like they should, for one, should have enough faith to be like, don't be afraid.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I made a joke about it. Not that it's a joke, but I'm like, well, maybe it's end times. You know what I mean? And they're like, don't say that, don't speak that. You know, I'm not ready for it. It's like, well, you're never going to be ready.
Never going to be ready, yeah.
So, you know, and God's not going to wait for you to be ready for it.
Exactly.
You know, so just be stoked that we lived our lives how we've lived them. And if this world ends, we're going to a better place.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you for your time. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to have you on here, and just honestly stoked to know you, man. It's truly a blessing and encouraged by everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
So,
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Woo!